Rebecca, and welcome to my channel. So today is going to be a standard podcast, and it's actually my first standard podcast I'm putting out. To preface, before we really dive into the nitty gritty of my little, what I'm calling knit chats, I want to kind of give an overview of what you can expect from this space from me. So in a previous video where I did a bit of an introduction about who I am and what to expect from my channel, I had a different expectation, I think a bit different feeling about what I was going to be putting out content-wise. That has changed a bit for me as I've filmed things and I haven't necessarily edited any of them or posted them. The more that I sat with it, the more that I kind of realized what is possible and feasible for me. I have a tendency to dive headfirst into things and get really, really intense and really, really into them. And I wind up burning myself out. So this happened when I was reviewing books on YouTube, or not on YouTube, well, I did try to venture into the YouTube space with that, but on Instagram and that kind of stuff, it just didn't work for me in the way that it should have. So, and a lot of that was my fault because I really did push myself beyond my limits as a content creator. So to preface this, I'm planning and hoping for one video a month of this kind of knit chat, what I'm calling like a little knit chat, of this format. So essentially a sitting down podcast talking to the camera kind of episode. And then I'm thinking I might do monthly vlogs because I think that could be really fun. So kind of, take me along with you throughout the month. I don't think I'm the type of person who, first of all, has enough going on to do any type of weekly vlogs. A lot of my time is literally just at work or at home knitting on the couch, which can be fun to watch, but also gets very boring and the videos wind up being very short kind of thing. So we're going to do monthly vlogs starting in January. I will film in January, so the first one will be in February. And that's kind of the idea of what I have right now for this space. I'm not trying to push myself, so that would be about 2 videos a month. Starting February, it'll be 2 videos a month. I don't want to push myself. I don't want to make this something that becomes tedious or a chore for me. And also, please do not expect that these knit chat videos are going to be highly edited, because I think part of the daunting task for me is editing. They're not going to be. I'm not going to take the time to chop up the videos and get rid of all the weird wonky bits. It's only if they're really bad that I think I will. Because like I said, for me, I don't want this to become a chore. I don't want this to be something that I have to do. Like, I have to go edit this video. I have to film it. I think they can be fun. And I think that for me too, I do really enjoy the more stream of consciousness, like low editing videos. I think it allows you to become more, to develop, I guess, that parasympathetic relationship with the people that like posting the videos, because you do get to know them a little bit more. They're not as polished and put together, and those are the kind that I like. So yeah, that's kind of what to expect. And I guess now is the time to kind of dive into the actual knit chat portion of the video. So we're going to start with finished objects, which I don't have any to show you today. So I filmed my Everything I Knit in 2025, which essentially is also my Everything I Knit in my first year of knitting video, earlier this week. So if today's Christmas, it's Thursday. I think I filmed that maybe like Monday. So that'll be my comprehensive list of finished objects for this, which is why I don't have anything for you this podcast, because I have not finished anything since then as well. I think it'll be a fun, exciting video. Please keep an eye out for it. My plan is to post this podcast episode before I post that. Which in that case moves us right into whips. So my most prominent whip is my Rosie sweater. I am working that. I've made a lot of progress. It was actually, I think, my birthday. So I cast it on December 11th. So it's been 2 weeks exactly, because my birthday is exactly 2 weeks before Christmas. It's been 2 weeks exactly, and I have made, I think, pretty significant progress. I knit the entire body and a decent amount of one sleeve. So I knit the entire body, and I got through one of the rose borders on one sleeve, and I'm almost halfway through the second rose border. Stop it, Teddy. One of my cats likes to get into things. So that is where I'm at on my Rosie sweater. I am knitting this. Let's see. I'm knitting it in yarn that I got in Copenhagen earlier this month. So it is the Gepard yarn Wild and Soft, which is 40% wild tussa silk and 60% merino wool, held with, and that's the main color. It's in cream, I think, or the color is 101, but it's like a creamy white color. And that is held with the Issair silk mohair, which is 75% kid mohair, 25% silk. And that is in the color E0. And then for the contrast color, so the roses, it is the Gepard Wild and Soft, once again, in the color 158, which is this lovely coppery color. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love a good kind of burnt coppery orange. And it's held with the Gepard Kids Setup. Ooh, and the colorway 1007. So these two together create this kind of like marled, I guess is the right word. This kind of marled copper brown color for the roses. And I'm loving it. I think it is a beautiful combination. I'm very excited. It's also exceptionally soft. So the only mohair and like wool combination I've worked with was the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino with the Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair. This sweater is much softer than that one is, I have to say. It is super soft. It's very like drapey, so you can already tell like this obviously hasn't been blocked, that it has some like serious drape. It probably also, I think a factor of that a little bit for this sweater is that the yarn that I chose is a little thinner than the suggested. So I think the suggested yarn is the Sadness Garden Tin Purgant, held with the Sadness Garden Tin Mohair, Tin Silk Mohair. I don't know what their mohair is, but with the Sadness Garden mohair. And so this is a little bit thinner than that. So the Gepard yarn is more of a light fingering, whereas I think the Tin Purgant is still a fingering weight, but just a little bit of a thicker fingering weight. So that is the Rosie sweater so far. I'm pretty on gauge. Anyways, in the pattern, she suggests that when you're working your color work, so it's the Rosie sweater by Lay Knit. I don't know if I mentioned that. Remember, this is my first podcast, okay, guys? So please give me some grace if I'm forgetting things. But the Rosie sweater by Lay Knit, she suggests for the color work potentially going up half a needle, like half a millimeter, for your needle size if your color work gauge is significantly tighter than your normal knitting gauge. I have found that my color work gauge is not significantly tighter because I try to stretch my stitches on the needle as I'm going. It's just kind of what I did when I first did my first color work last month. That's just kind of how I did it, and it worked for me. I think I might have a little bit of cinching on the upper part of the sleeves from when I picked up for the sleeves. I'm a little concerned about that, but we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this project. I'm very excited. As you can probably tell, here I am going to hold it up again. It is a bit of a cropped sweater. I'm personally a cropped sweater fan. I think that I'm covering the mic for a moment, so I do apologize if it gets a little muffled. So for me, I find that like cropped sweaters hit at the right spot on my waistline because I wear a lot of high-waisted pants, first of all, but I feel like I have a relatively short torso. So if I were to knit most of my sweaters to the length that they require, they would hit me at like the widest part of my body, which is like my hip, like mid hip, like kind of pelvis area. And I have like pretty wide hips, but I have like a bit of a narrower waistline. So I try to knit all of my sweaters a little bit more cropped, as I've learned in my less than 1 year of knitting. I do knit them a bit more cropped so they hit me at my waistline. So that just works for me. I also was slightly worried for some reason. I feel like this is also a consequence of me being new to knitting. I was a little bit worried I was going to run out of yarn on this project. I am not. I should have trusted the math that the woman at the store in Copenhagen did for me, because I will have enough yarn. But I'm glad because I also do want to do the full collar for the sweater like Laynit has in her samples. Like it has a larger collar that I think goes like right up to your chin. I like that look. I would like to do that for my sweater. And I was a little bit concerned that I wasn't going to have enough yarn for it, but I should. I still have 2 full balls of the Wild and Soft and the Silk Mohair for the main color. And then I still have 1 full ball of the Wild and Soft and the Silk Mohair for the contrast color, which I potentially will need to use because I still have to finish the motif I'm on now. And this is what I have left of the contrast color. And then I still have to do the entire other sleeve. So I have a feeling I probably will need to break into the second ball, which makes me happy that I got it because the woman at the store did say I would only need 1 ball of the contrast color for the mohair and obviously the wool silk blend. I feel like I'm going to have to break into it, and I'm happy that I have it if I do. I was thinking about what I might do with the leftovers as I have them, and I'm thinking I might wind up maybe making matching Rosie mittens. We'll see what happens. So that is my main whip. I found that I historically have been working on quite a few projects at one time. I like to have like a basic stockinette and something that's a little bit more time consuming, but I'm also kind of locked in on this sweater. So I've just been working on this sweater for the past 2 weeks, really. I only cast something else on, which I'm going to show you next, because this became a little bit too complicated for me to bring to work to knit on like lunch breaks or when I just needed to like step away because work was irritating the heck out of me and I just needed to knit for 5 seconds. So the other project that I have on the needles right now is a Sophie scarf that I'm knitting with Comaros Snifnug in the color Bordeaux. So it is this gorgeous like wine color, Bordeaux, gorgeous wine color. Yarn, I think I've heard before, it's like a chainette yarn. I think that's what that is. But whatever the case, I think it's beautiful. I think it's coming up a little bit more purple on camera. It's definitely a deeper color in real life. It's not as bright of a purple as it is on the camera. And so, yeah, I'm just working on a basic Sophie scarf for this one. My plan is I have 3 balls that I purchased in Copenhagen at just a store that we went into. So my plan is to knit increases on this until, like, using the same increase ratio, all of that kind of stuff, until I finish this ball, this first ball that I'm working with. And then once that's done, I will use the second ball to knit straight through like the bulk of the scarf. And then I will use the third ball to knit the decreases. So we're going to see what that scarf looks like. I want it to be a little bit bigger. I think it will, because this is a thicker yarn than I think then obviously the pattern calls for. I think the pattern calls for 2 strands of like a light fingering almost lace, I want to say, weight cashmere. Like the Knitting for Olive compatible cashmere held double, which is what I made my first actual Squiffy scarf out of. Um, so that's what the pattern calls for. This is a thicker strand of yarn than a lace weight or a light fingering held double. So I do think that I'll probably wind up having a bigger what's the word, scarf than obviously the pattern calls for. I'm also using 3 balls. And I'm knitting it on a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needle. So, which is working really well. It's giving me like a dense fabric. It's definitely giving like a dense fabric, but I want that. I want it to be denser. My hope is to finish this, which I would be shocked if I didn't, before I go to Chicago at the end of March, because I think it's going to be cold enough to wear a scarf in Chicago in March. So those are my 2 whips I have going right now. Like I said, in the past, I've done a lot of more like beep bopping around with my whips, but I found that when I focused in on my Christmas sweater in November, I like knocked that out in a month. And I was like, wow, that's actually like pretty cool to be able to finish a sweater in a month. And so I decided that, at least for my Rosie sweater, because living in Florida, there's only so many days that you can wear a sweater a year. And we've already had like 2 out of like probably the 7 that we'll get. I really wanted to finish my Rosie sweater so that I can actually wear it this year. So I'm thinking if I finish it before January, which might be feasible right now. So if I finish it before the new year, I should be able to wear it during this cold season winter. And then worst case, I can also wear it in Chicago. So I really wanted to lock in and like focus on my Rosie sweater this season, and then like reassess and kind of see, maybe I'll cast on some other things. Once I finish the Rosie sweater, I might go back to my like multi-whip lifestyle, my ethically non-monogamous knitting lifestyle. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it for my works in progress right now. So I think we're kind of flying through this. I'm only at, I think, like 15-20 minutes at this point, maybe 20. So we're going to touch on some acquisitions. So the first acquisition I have is some yarn. Ooh, it's my first time. I'm just now opening the bag too, so sorry for the crinkles. Some, oh wow, what a smell. Some yarn from Sorella. So I got the Sorella Eras Club yarn for December in the colorway Long Story Short. And I love it. It's beautiful. And I got it in the Cashmere DK. So it is 225 meters 225 meters per 100 grams. So it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And I got it with the intention of knitting another Stockholm slipover v-neck. I had a feeling it would be like a pretty greeny blue color, and I was right. I love this color. I think it's beautiful. I think if I can get a little bit of that color up in there for you guys to see. I love it. I think it's a gorgeous color. But I got 2 skeins. And I'm realizing now I probably should have gotten 3 instead of 2. But in my mind, I was like, I knit my last one with only 200 grams. But it was a different weight and a different meterage. And I just didn't think it through, apparently. So I will see how it goes. Worst case, but I think I'm actually going to knit a size down from what I knit my last Stockholm slipover in. I think that my previous slipover is just a little bit too big, like width-wise. Like it blocked out. And this is also a superwash. So I think I could definitely go down a size in it and it would be perfectly fine. So I'm going to go down a size. I think I should be fine. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I love the color and I'm excited. This might be what I cast on next because the Stockholm slipover for me is like an excellent work shirt. I love it. It works really well. The other acquisition I have is for some gift knits. So I am going to Chicago in March, like I mentioned, but we're doing like, it's a bit of a group trip a little bit. So it's me and my fiance, another couple friend, and then one half of a couple friend because her boyfriend can't make it. And so I decided that I wanted to knit the girls scarves. So I decided to get some Stefnug. And I asked the girls what their favorite color is, and they both said like a wine kind of deep purple burgundy color. So I wound up just getting the Stefnug in the colorway Bordeaux for them. So I need to knit 3 essentially matching Sophie scarves by the end of March, which I think is feasible, especially if I lock in on them. But we're going to be matchy girlies, so that's super fun. And then I also got for a friend who lives in North Carolina. She's one of my best friends. She also got engaged this year. I love her dearly, and I have been wanting to knit her something. So I got her some Comoros Snefnug. I'm going to also make her a Sophie scarf. I feel like Sophie scarves are such a great gift, especially if it's someone who does in fact live somewhere cold like North Carolina. And I got her the color and got the Snefnug for her Sophie scarf in the colorway 7902 Stovikon. Sorry if I butchered that terribly, but it's like this pretty like baby, I don't know, I'm gonna say it's like pistachio green a little bit, but like maybe a bit more of like a pale baby pistachio green, maybe like a matcha green. It's not as deep of a matcha. And I think she would love it. Super excited to make this for her, and I hope she'll get so much use and wear out of it. But those were all ordered from the same place, Inspire Mind. I don't know. I just searched for Snefnug, and that's what I was able to find in stock. So they shipped really quickly though. So I do highly suggest if you're looking for any like Comoros yarn, they had quite a large, in the US at least, they had quite a large inventory, I feel like, of the Comoros yarn. And they shipped, like I ordered it and got it within a week. So excellent on them. Yeah, so that's it for on the yarny front for me. I think at the end of these, I'm going to do what I'm going to call a media minute, where I kind of talk about anything media-wise I've been reading, watching, going to, who knows. So if you want to stick around for that, please do. If not, and you're just here for the yarn stuff, I appreciate you watching my video. I know this is kind of my only footprint in the internet space. I no longer am on Instagram. I don't plan on ever going back there. So I do really appreciate you guys watching and sticking around. And if you liked it, please do like and subscribe for more yarny things. And thank you. But if you do want to hear about what I've been reading, watching in my media minute, please stick around because here we go. So this week at work has been super chill, super not busy. So, and I've been working from home the whole week. So I've been doing a lot of like watching while working. And one thing you might learn about me as we get more and more into these videos is I am a little bit fickle when it comes to TV shows. I have a tendency to like start watching a show, I never finish the season. Someone asks me about it 3 years later, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I never finished that. So the morning show was one of those. I started watching when it first came out on Apple TV. I got 10 episodes into the first season, and then I just never finished it, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure episode 10 was the finale, and I did not finish the finale. Or the next episode was the finale, and I just never finished watching it. So I watched almost the entirety of a season to not know what happens at the end. Crazy. But that was one of those shows that I started watching. I guess it came out probably in 2019 because the second season is them exploring like the start of coronavirus and like COVID in the US and all that stuff and how they're reporting on it and in conjunction with all the other crap that's happening on the show at the time. But I had started watching that, stopped watching it. This week I decided, I just got a text that my fiance's mom, one of their dogs is, she's pretty sure, on the downward decline. He's an older dog, it's fine, but it's kind of sad because he's a good boy. Wow, and you can also hear in the background my air purifier because I opened up those yarns and the air purifier is not happy about it. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Ooh, not editing these videos is gonna be a wild ride for you guys. I am so sorry. I have ADHD and I tangent real hard. I started watching the morning show this week. I was looking for something to watch. I dabble in and out of Real Housewives. Right now, I'm kind of doing a watch from the start of Atlanta. I'm in season 4. I'm enjoying it. It's hilarious, but there's like some things where it's just almost like the drama is too real. And not like real, not it applies to my life, but it's like I don't like seeing like exceptional amounts of people like going through like relationship troubles and like money trouble. Like it just it hits home weird, and I'm like, I need a break from that. So I was looking for something to watch, and my partner, me and my fiance, I keep saying partner, we are now fiancés, we are watching The Office together. And I was like, I can't watch it without him though. We're also in season 9, and it's really going downhill. Like it's hard to finish this show. I will finish it because our next watch is going to be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But The Office is getting real difficult to finish because season 9 is just not good. It like really went downhill when Steve left. But season 8, there was at least still a little bit of something. Season 9 has just been, it's like the Jim and Pam drama. I'm like, I'm not about it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of like focusing on relationship drama at a serious a bit, and I'm just not enjoying that. So it is what it is. We're going to finish it. But I couldn't watch that without him, and he was working in the office and I was soft officing on the couch. So I was like, let's see what Apple TV has. I saw the morning show. I was like, you know what? I remember liking this. Let's watch it. I'm in deep now. I am probably about halfway through season 2. I started this on Tuesday, probably. It's Thursday. I'm halfway through season 2. I'm really enjoying it. It is a great thing to watch, especially because once he is like ready to watch TV, we go to watching like The Office or something. I'm really enjoying it. It's a great show. It's really interesting watching how they cover like the pandemic and like the start of the election in like the US. I think one thing I'm really liking about the show is that they're essentially using like real situations, and they're not fictionalizing them. So it's not like they're like, obviously all the stuff that's happening like with the cast members themselves, that's all fictionalized. Like that's not real. It's like maybe based off of real things, but it's obviously like Steve Carell's character is one person that is a fictional character, and Jennifer Aniston is a fictional character. Reese, like all these people are fictional characters, but the tangential, like the background stories, the things that they're covering, like COVID-19, like the end of Trump's presidency, the election in 2020, everything going on with like Me Too movement and Harvey Weinstein, like that's not fictionalized. And I think they covered like the Malibu fires in 2019, those Malibu fires. They covered the Vegas shooting at the Country Music Festival. I think that was earlier than 2019 though. But like they're covering these like real world things that are happening, and it's very interesting to watch it back 5 years later at this point. So like the stuff that they're covering happened 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. No, 5 years ago exactly at this point. Is like we're going into 2026. So it will be about 6 years ago as to where I am on the timeline, I think, in the show. Whatever the case, it is really interesting to watch, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think like, yeah, there's a lot of like really, like it's a drama, it's not a comedy. There's a lot of really intense like storylines and heavy subjects that are dealt with. So please, 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 please look it up if that's something that if you're sensitive to drug use, overdose, like death, sexual assault. All of these kind of things are heavy plot points within the show. So please be aware of that going in if you're going to watch it, because it's not, and they don't make light of it. They handle it really well, I think. They do a great job with the nuances of a lot of this stuff, but it's definitely heavy. So be aware. If you're looking for something light, probably not a good one. But a good Apple TV show that we did start watching that is definitely more of a light show is Mythic Quest. We kind of stopped because we went back to the office. It's really hard, in my opinion, to watch multiple sitcoms at once. Like I can watch like a sitcom and a drama and a reality TV. I can't watch a sitcom, a sitcom, a sitcom. So I was like, we got to finish The Office, and then we really want to start like Sunny, and then maybe we'll go back to Mythic Quest. But Mythic Quest is good. It's funny. It's cute. It's light. If you're a big fan of like those I think they're MMOs, like multiplayer online games. It's pretty cool. It's cool to like see like a fictionalized version of that environment as well. But yeah, that was good. I think that's really all. And like I said, I watch a lot of Real Housewives. When I want my reality TV fix, I'm on Atlanta right now, season 4. I'll get to that. There's no more Love Island Australia is done. I was watching that. We like my fiance and I really like Love Island, so we'll watch any of the Love Island franchises. I've been watching Love Island since like college, when I had to like find an illegal streaming site to watch it. It was a whole thing. But yeah, so that's what we've been watching. As for reading, I was a voracious reader. I'm no longer really in that realm of massive reading. I do listen to a lot of audiobooks though. So my current audiobook I'm listening to is, I think it's In Good Spirits by BK Borson. It's my Christmas audiobook I'm listening to. I'm enjoying it. I think it's good. I would kind of probably rather be listening to a graphic audio fantasy book, because I've been really into those right now, but it is what it is. On my Kindle, I am reading, what is that? It's a Sarah Blue. It's the second book in like the One Pucked Up Pack series from where the alpha bestie of the girl in One Pucked Up Pack, she like who's a doctor, so it like kind of centers on her and like her relationships, and that one is pretty good. I love a good Sarah Blue book. Her books are thick, but they're like engaging. They really draw you in. So I'm reading that on Kindle right now. And then I do have a physical book going. I'm reading whatever the newest Ashley Poston book about music is, unless she came out with another one since I picked up that one. But I'm reading that one. It's not my favorite of hers. So I'm really struggling to kind of get through it. And it's also a physical book. I'm reading it in paperback. And it's hard for me right now to like read because I'd rather be knitting because I'm so new to this hobby of knitting that like I'm hyper fixated on it still. So I don't really want to do any of my other hobbies. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. And yeah, otherwise, I'm just going to the gym like normal. We did our Christmas workout was yesterday. It was intense. It was like the 12. So I guess they do this every year. I just didn't go last year, but my gym does like a 12 days of Christmas program. So it's essentially you do one and then you go to the next. So on the first day of Christmas, you do one sumo deadlift. Second, then you do two thrusters, but you do two thrusters and then another sumo deadlift, and then you do three, I think it was goblet squats, two thrusters, another deadlift, and then you like do that as you go through. And there was 12 exercises, and one of them is a 400-meter run that you're doing like 7 times. So at the end, it was like a 2-mile run. I did not do that. I stopped running over the summer, and it shows in my stamina. Probably get back into that. I like to say I'm a seasonal runner, but it's really hard to be a seasonal runner because Florida is hot all the frickin' time. So, anyways, that is it on that. I think I'm at about 40-ish minutes, which is probably plenty of time, especially if I do chop out anything. But I'm gonna try not to because I don't like editing. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed what I had to say, or if you're curious to see where this journey takes me, please like and subscribe. It would be awesome, like that little boost of motivation to be like, yeah, this is something that you should continue doing. I will continue doing it anyways, but like sometimes when your brain gets a little sad and you're like, why am I even doing this? No one's watching it. In those darker moments, wow, that sounded really depressing. I'm not like depressed. I'm heavily medicated. Thank you. So yeah, that would just be nice if you guys could like and subscribe. Anyway, I hope you all had a lovely Merry Christmas. And if this does not get up before the new year, a Happy New Year. And if it does, I hope you are going to have a fantastic time. Let me know if you're doing anything fun or if you did anything fun for the holidays. And let me know what you knit on. If you cast on an Advent, if you did any December knits, any Christmas cast ons. I'd love to hear, as I'm still super new. So I think it'd be really fun to hear. Oh, also, I would love to know if you did an Advent. Oh my God. My air purifier is telling me it is time for me to go. But beforehand, if you did an advent calendar this year and you did not buy it but made it yourself, I would love ideas because I would love to do one next year. I'm thinking maybe I buy one mini skein a month or like one like 25-gram skein and like do a blanket in December next year and like put it in a box when I purchase it. We'll see. But if you have any ideas on how to do an advent, please let me know. I'm going to go now. Thanks, and I hope you all have a lovely holiday.